So yeah, this thing is a real pain. There we go. Yeah, wall jumping in this game is much harder than it is in games like Mega Man X. Speaking of Mega Man X, I'm going to be doing a video of Mega Man X sometime soon. It's the next thing I'm doing after this, actually. Probably by the end of the week. Ugh. So you gotta use the dash again right here and jump over this thing. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with it. There we go. Not difficult. Alright, so you need the high jump boost to get in here unless you wall jump. Boom. Oh, boom. I did it. Bomb the first one, shoot the second one. It's cool that I still remember all this stuff. See, because if you bomb the second one, you fall through the floor. And then you have to climb back up again. So the Spazer. Spazer is a very cool weapon. But I don't think... One problem... Okay, let me backtrack. One problem I've always had with this game is that I don't think that the Spazer should be the first beam that the game gives you. Because beams get combined in this game. So now every single beam that you get after this is going to be some variation of the Spazer beam instead of being their own thing. You know, and in all the earlier Metroid games, the beams were each their own thing. So you had the ice beam, which is like a straight shot. You had the wave beam, which, you know, goes up and down. But in this game, it's all just Spazers, just different kinds of Spazers, because each one mixes with the Spazer that you have already. And I think it would have been better to get the Spazer later in the game and have it just enhance all those beams that already got to be unique and stand on their own with its Spazerness, rather than having it kind of overpower all of them right from the get-go. So I think for this run, what I might do is I might unequip the Spazer beam, actually. Once I get another beam, I think I might unequip the Spazer beam and let the other beams kind of stand on their own and make an impression. So I think I might do that. It's interesting. I've never done that before. I don't know if it'll make the game really hard, you know, if I'm just using the wave beam by itself or the ice beam by itself. But I doubt it. So I think it'll probably be fine. I'm definitely looking forward to using the wave beam by itself, because the wave beam was the strongest beam in the first Metroid game, and slightly iconic in that one. So it'd be good to see the wave beam and the ice beam stand on their own again. And of course later there's the plasma beam that blows everything else away, especially considering that the plasma beam combines with the wave beam. It does not combine with the Spazer beam, because that would just be ridiculous. But the plasma beam combines with the wave beam to create two different beams that travel in like kind of a crisscross wave arc pattern. And they do a huge amount of damage to enemies. So yeah, the plasma beams absolutely decimate in this game. Most menacing door ever right there. But yeah, I'm glad that the plasma beam is so good in this game, because in Metroid 2, it actually leaves a lot to be desired. It's the most powerful beam, and it goes through everything. It can slice through multiple enemies in a row. It's awesome in that regard. But it's so thin that it's hard to aim with it. So there's a save in there, but I'm not going to save because I'm kind of doing a no saves run right now to increase the excitement level for myself. That sounded a little bit dirty. But in any case, yeah, I'm just trying to build the intensity here. So no saves for me. This guy is a pain. You know what? I should just run through all these because they're not going to stop. Oh, mini crate. Drops hella loots. Very nice. I think this is an energy restoring room, which I don't need currently. And this is, I think, some other space hunter, like Samus, some other hunter in armor, who's apparently headless. And I'd really like to know what the story is there. Maybe it might be that Houston guy from the Nintendo Power comics, because he wore like bluish armor. Bluer than this, though. But it looks like it might be Houston. And I can't tell if he's actually headless or not because the shoulder plates are so big that I don't know. I'd like to know what the story is there in any case. It's an interesting little thing going on there. Or before I go in this door, I have to change the video real quick. So yeah, I have to get up and switch the video every 29 minutes or so. It's definitely a pain. It's something you have to have in the back of your mind all the time. You can't forget to do it. Anyway, I'm going to try to find out if there's a way I can fix that. Oh yeah, he doesn't like super missiles. Super missiles, does he? I keep saying super missiles. Anyway, it's possible to defeat Kraid without him even getting taller. You have to hit him with 2 super missiles, like at once, like boom boom, the first time he opens his mouth. Because 2 super missiles will actually defeat him. It might be 3 actually, but I think it's 2. So you can take him out before he even stands up and raises the roof. Okay, so it's not 2, it's gotta be 3. I think he actually gets more health. Yeah, he gets more health once he stands up. So. Oh man, I missed. Totally whiffed those shots. Phew. Good riddance. Alright. I noticed that half an hour has gone by and just defeating Kraid now. I'd like to have this done in about an hour and a half. Have this completely wrapped up. Mainly because I have to go to bed. And I don't really want to have to split this into 2 parts. So an hour and a half is my goal, but it's very unlikely to happen. It's probably going to take an extra half hour or so. Especially at the fairly slow pace that I've been going. Yeah, how about that? Super missile. Boom. Wait, you have to kill all these guys? Boy. That was awesome. Oh, here we have the best music track in the entire Metroid series playing. They've actually revisited this track a few times in other Metroid games. As well they should. It's really cool once you know where everything is. You can just grab stuff as you go. I like Metroid Prime 2's soundtrack a lot. I think Metroid Prime 2 is very underrated. It might be the least impressive of the 3 Metroid Prime games overall. Just like, if you had to rank the 3 of them, it would probably be last most of the time, but I found it to be extremely atmospheric and dark and just eerie. I just think Prime 2 really captured the vibe it was going for. Metroid Prime 1 also absolutely nailed the vibe. It was going for this vibe of you being on this alien world with its own ecosystem, and it really did seem like a living world that you were exploring. Ooh, get this missile. There we go. Fun fact, the one time I ever got 100% on this game, 100% item completion, that missile that I just got was the final item that I got. I was sitting at 99% for weeks, and then one day, well, I ordered the Nintendo Power Guide, and I was waiting for the Nintendo Power Guide to arrive in the mail so that I could find out where the last item was, mainly. And finally, I just got tired of waiting, so I went to the store, and it was like a Caldor or something, which is what used to be Walmart, basically. What Walmart used to be. So I went to the store and I found a Super Metroid guide. I found the Nintendo Power Super Metroid guide that I've been waiting for, and I looked through it, and I'm just like feverishly flipping through the pages, like where's the one item that I don't have? It's gotta be here somewhere. And there it was, right there, pretty early in the game. This missile, and I immediately realized that I hadn't gotten that one. So I went home, I got 100%, and that was the one time I got 100% in this game. And then, funny thing is, I'm pretty sure the guide arrived in the mail the next day, but it's okay because it was a really fun guide to read. Anyway, back to Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime 1, probably the best in that series, really nailed the alien planet. Incredible soundtrack, great gameplay, just amazing. I think Metroid Prime is probably tied with this game as the best in the series overall. It might even have the edge over this game in a lot of ways. Metroid Prime 2, a little bit of a black sheep, but not really. I don't know of anyone who really dislikes it. It's regarded as not being as good as Prime 1, but that's a tough act to follow. Yeah, I'm getting blasted here. I'm going to have to start thinking about my energy very soon here. Hold on, I gotta concentrate now. See, now the intensity has been ratcheted up. That's kind of what I wanted. I could go for the wave beam right now, but there's a very difficult, a very tricky wall jump that you have to make to get the wave beam here. And if you miss the wall jump, you fall on some spikes. And right now I don't have the survivability for that. I don't have the survivability for this. Oof. Surprise. I'm noticing a distinct lack of big energy pellets being dropped here. Not sure what that's all about. There's one. Excellent. These pipe things are all over this game. They're very good for refilling your energy. They're in the original Metroid as well. Oh, I'm full already. That was quick. Wow. Nice and to the point.